Hi everyone, this is Donny Lowy from Closeout.com. One of the best ways to get a really good wholesale deal is by buying by the pallet. If you're looking to do some wholesale buying of pallets, you're going to first want to determine what kind of merchandise you need, what it is that your customers buy, and you want to ensure that you really are saving when you buy by the pallet as compared to buying by the piece. Now, the advantage of buying by the pallet is that, generally speaking, you're going to get a very large assortment of different items. If you buy a pallet of clothing, and let's say you're buying a pallet of evening wear, you're going to get dresses, blouses, skirts, office pants, suits for women. It could be other items as well. Now, if you were to buy, let's say, for example, in my warehouse, you were to buy dresses, you can pay anywhere from $15 to $30 a dress. If you're buying women's suits, you could pay up to $39 a pair for each suit. If you're buying a skirt or a pair of brand name pants by Tahari, you could pay $15 per piece. But when you buy by the pallet, let's say you buy a pallet of 300 pieces, you could pay as low as $10 per piece. The reason I do that is, first of all, it's good for my customers. You get a better margin per piece when you sell the items, but it's also good for me as a wholesale business because I'm able to sell in larger volumes. So when you do buy a pallet, you have the opportunity of paying less per piece. Now, the challenge is knowing what's in that pallet. Since the merchandise is assorted and every pallet is different, you're not going to know unless you're given a manifest what the exact contents of that pallet are, and many times there is no manifest because the pallet is being made for you in the warehouse. So for example, let's say I'll receive a shipment which is department store overstock and it comes from a department store, and I have 3,000 pieces of clothing. Now we open up those 3,000 pieces, we sort it out, and now you decide to order a pallet from me of 300 pieces. So we'll take an assortment of all the different items we have in the warehouse within the category that you ordered, and we'll put together a pallet for you. So you're not going to have a list of exactly what you're going to receive, but the advantage is that you're paying a lot less per item than if you were to buy it by the piece. And another advantage is you're going to end up getting a nice assortment that you might not get if you only buy a few different pieces. You might get a blouse that you might not have decided to buy on your own, or you might not even known it was available for sale, but when it comes in that assorted pallet, you open up the pallet and then you see a really nice Calvin Klein blouse which retailed for $45 originally, and you paid for $10 each. And now another thing you should know when you buy a pallet is, even if you're paying an average price per piece, for example, you buy 300 pieces from me and you paid $3,000 each. So technically, you are paying $10 a piece, but in reality, there's some items which you've paid more for in that pallet and some items you've paid less for. So a dress you might have paid $15 each, and a blouse you might have paid $5 each for. It's important to do the math carefully because you don't want to end up selling all your dresses at $15, and then you're going to have to try to sell those blouses also for $15. You might be able to do it, but it could be an easier sale if you sell the dresses, for example, for $30 each and the blouses for $10 each. So do the math carefully, sort out the clothing that you receive in the pallet. And that's true whether it's different brands of shoes, whether it's kids clothing, men's clothing, women's clothing, handbags. You need to sort out the contents of the pallet and then see realistically what you can sell for what, and also spread the cost according to the value of the item. So if, for instance, we'll make it simple. Let's say the pallet only had 2 pieces of clothing, and one piece of clothing retails for $10 and the other piece of clothing retails for $100. So the expensive piece of clothing has a retail value of 10 times the value of the lower price piece of clothing. And if you paid $20 for the pallet, what you really did is you paid 10% of the value of that pallet went towards the lower price piece, and then 90% of the value went to the higher price per piece. And now, of course, pallets don't have 2 pieces of clothing, but you can do the same type of math. If a pallet has 300 pieces, 100 pieces, or 1,000 pieces, always determine what your cost is per piece. And another option is you could calculate the entire retail value of the pallet you received, and then sell it as a lot to stores, to another wholesaler, or you can put it into smaller lots and sell it on eBay. There's definitely many ways you can do it. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video. My website is closeoutexplosion.com. If you're interested in buying wholesale pallets, definitely let me know, and you're welcome to visit my warehouse. Have a great day.